Money isn't everything. That's what they said. But if money isn't everything, then why does everything seem to need money? Why does your mother check prices twice before picking vegetables? Why does your father use the same phone for 6 years, even though it hangs every time he tries to call? Why did your wife cancel her plans to buy a new curtain because school just raised its fees? Why do you laugh at weddings while silently calculating your credit card bill? This isn't a story about wanting too much. This is a story about surviving with dignity while dreaming quietly, hoping someday something will change. But behind those quiet hopes, there's a louder truth, one that shows up every morning, in your routine, in your sacrifices, and in the silence no one hears. You earn, you work long hours, you sit in traffic, you tolerate a boss who doesn't even remember your name, you pay the bills, you cover the school fees, you refill the LPG cylinder, you fix the leaking tap because calling a plumber is extra cost. And after all that, you have 400 rupees left at the end of the month. Not enough for a dinner at a decent restaurant. Not enough to buy that shirt you liked online. Not enough for a single emergency. This is what the middle class faces every single day. You are not poor, so you get no government help. You are not rich, so you get no freedom. You're just in between, invisible, carrying the weight of dreams on a salary that barely stretches till the 20th. And yet, despite it all, we don't crave riches. We just want enough to stop saying no. For some, money is about luxury. For us, money is the ability to say yes. Yes, beta. Go ahead, join that coaching class. Yes, ma. Get that checkup done in a private hospital. Yes. Let's go on that trip we kept postponing for 7 years. Money isn't just about spending. It's about not feeling small in front of your own desires, not feeling embarrassed when your kids shoot ears mid-year, not asking your wife to adjust one more time. Money is not just paper. Money is self-respect, it's security, it's options, it's freedom from fear, it's peace of mind. But even that peace is short-lived because the calendar doesn't wait and the cycle begins again. Every first of the month, you feel a small wave of relief, salary credited, and then rent, electricity, groceries, internet, insurance, EMIs, school van. By the 10th, 70% is gone. By the 20th, you start calculating petrol costs by the kilometer. By the 25th, you are praying that no one in the family falls sick. You postpone repairs, you delay shopping, you shrink your wishes. This is the cycle we live in. A loop that looks like life, but it's actually survival. Every month, same routine, same struggle. You're not living your dreams. You're barely managing your duties. But beyond the bills and budgets, there's a quieter pain. Not written on paper, but felt in the heart. Every single day. It's not just about things you can't buy. It's about how it makes you feel. When you avoid invitations because you can't afford a gift. When your child says, "Papa, cycle," and you pretend not to hear. When your wife checks online cards but never clicks buy now. When your parents say, "Beta, we don't need anything." But you know, they do. Lack of money doesn't just empty your wallet. It empties your confidence, your choices, your energy. That's the real cost. And when that quiet pain becomes too loud to ignore, a voice inside you whispers, "This can't be it. Something has to change." Somewhere inside you know this isn't what life was meant to be. You studied, you worked hard, you followed all the rules. But the system wasn't designed to reward hard work. It rewards awareness. It rewards leverage. It rewards financial intelligence, not just sincerity. You weren't born just to pay bills and die. You weren't sent here to live on repeat mode. Same salary, same struggle, same stress. You must break this pattern. And if no one in your family ever has, then you be the first. If you don't change something today, your children will inherit not just your eyes or surname, but also your limitations. Do you want your son to grow up with dreams and then crush them because Papa's salary can't handle it? Do you want your daughter to study hard but give up on a better college because of budget constraints? One generation has to stand up and say, the cycle ends with me. You will suffer? Yes. But your children? They will fly. But to give your children wings, you must first break your own chains. And that starts with unlearning what you were taught about money. We grew up hearing, save money, spend less, don't take risks. But the truth is, you can't save your way to wealth. What you need is to grow, to upgrade, to multiply, not just protect. And no, this doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow. It means changing your mindset bit by bit, day by day. Remember, this generation of the Indian middle class has something previous ones didn't: access. You don't need a fancy degree. You need data and discipline. Everything you need to learn, it's on your phone. Learn digital skills. The world has moved online. You can too. Design, code, write, sell, consult, teach. Learn how money actually works. What is a SIP? How do mutual funds function? What does compounding mean? These aren't rich people things. These are survival tools now. Start small. 1 hour a day. 500 rupees this week. 5,000 rupees next month. Not to become a millionaire overnight, but to prove to yourself that you're capable of more. But the moment you start rising, they'll start questioning. Not because you're wrong, but because you're doing what they never dared to do. They'll say you've changed, that you talk about money too much, that you've become selfish. He's running behind money. Now he talks about investments and goals, not chai and cricket. Let them talk, because they don't see what you're building. You're not chasing a car with a logo. You're chasing a future where your father doesn't have to check his bank balance before buying medicine, where your wife doesn't have to cancel her plans to buy a gift for her friend, where your child doesn't grow up learning that dreams are too expensive. Wanting more is not greed. It's a responsibility. Because no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself and your family. But what are you really chasing? Because true success at this doesn't always look the way the world told you it would. Success isn't a 7-figure salary or a viral Instagram post. Success isn't just a foreign trip or a high-rise apartment. It's being able to sleep peacefully at night. It's being able to say, yes, we can afford that, without guilt. It's buying your child a toy, not because it's expensive, but because he's waited patiently for months. It's taking your parents to a nice restaurant, not because they asked, but because they deserve more than dal chawal. It's sitting in your balcony with tea and not worrying about the electricity bill. That's success. That's freedom. That's money, when used with intention. You found freedom for your family. Now imagine, if your success could set someone else free too. Money in the right hands can change not just a family, but a community. When you rise clean. Pay your taxes. Don't cheat the system. Don't show off. Support your maid's son's education. Buy from local vendors. Create jobs. Fund someone's dreams. You don't need to be a billionaire to help. You just need to have enough to share. This is not about becoming rich. This is about becoming strong, so others can lean on you. That's real wealth. But in your mission to uplift others, don't forget the one person who also deserves a better life. And that is you. You weren't born to settle, to fold your dreams, to keep waiting for someday. They rely on you, yes, but you need yourself just as much. You want to live fully, to laugh freely, to love generously. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot uplift anyone. If you are crushed under the weight of lack, you owe it to your family and yourself to rise. Because after all the struggle, sacrifice, and silence, one question still remains, and it changes everything. Why do you really want money? Not to flaunt, not to show off, but to breathe, to protect, to provide, to grow, to give back. Once you're clear on the answer, don't stop until you earn it. Because no one's coming to rescue you. But you can rescue everyone around you. Because your family deserves it, your future demands it, and your younger self, he's still waiting for you to make it real. And once you've answered that question, don't let it remain just a thought. Because purpose without action is just a dream. If this message felt like your story, then don't just scroll. Act. Take action. Learn something new today. Start that side hustle tomorrow. Have that uncomfortable money conversation with yourself. Open a new tab. Learn a new skill. Start tracking your money. Start your first SIP. Record your first video. Write that first email. Do something, anything. Because nothing changes unless you do. Because no one is coming to rescue the Indian middle class. You don't have to be rich to start. You just have to be ready. The middle class has been ignored for too long. It's time we rise. With purpose, with strength, with pride. Earn with purpose. Live with dignity. Give with pride. Welcome. This is Neural Change.